difference between SAML and OAuth. Example: a user visits a web application that allows them to manage their healthcare information. The user clicks on the Login with Google button, which sends a request to Google's OAuth service. Google's OAuth service presents the user with a consent screen, which allows them to choose whether or not to grant access to their Google account information. If the user grants access, Google's OAuth service sends an access token to the web application. The web application uses the access token to retrieve the user's Google account information, such as their name and email address. The web application generates a SAML assertion, which contains information about the user's identity and their access privileges within the web application. The SAML assertion is digitally signed to ensure its integrity and authenticity. The SAML assertion is sent to a SAML service provider that the web application is integrated with. The SP verifies the signature of the assertion and authenticates the user based on the information in the assertion. Once the user is authenticated, they are granted access to their healthcare information within the web application. SAML and OAuth are both protocols used for authentication and authorization, but they differ in their use cases and implementation. Here are some key differences between SAML and OAuth. Use case: SAML is primarily used for single sign-on authentication, which allows users to log into multiple applications with a single set of credentials. OAuth, on the other hand, is primarily used for authorization, which allows users to grant third-party applications access to their data without giving away their login credentials. Implementation: SAML is implemented using XML-based messages that are exchanged between the identity provider and the service provider. OAuth, on the other hand, is implemented using RESTful API calls that are exchanged between the user, the authorization server, and the resource server. Security: both SAML and OAuth are secure protocols, but they differ in their security models. SAML uses a centralized model, where the IDP is responsible for authenticating users and issuing security tokens. OAuth uses a distributed model, where the user authorizes the third-party application to access their data, and the resource server enforces the access policies. Standards: SAML is a widely adopted standard for SSO authentication, and is supported by many enterprise applications and identity management systems. OAuth, on the other hand, is a newer standard that has gained widespread adoption in the web and mobile application development community. In summary, SAML is primarily used for SSO authentication, while OAuth is primarily used for authorization. SAML uses an XML-based messaging system, while OAuth uses RESTful API calls. Both protocols are secure, but they differ in their security models.